Okay, stream should be live. Welcome to today's next level session. Let's see. Hi there, Patricia. All right, so I've got a bunch of stuff. Going to be a hodgepodge today. As always, we kind of just jump into these, and I either have a topic or some topics, and then we go into a Q&A. So feel free to chat any questions or comments you have or anything you want to talk about today into the box. But I've had my hands full. You know, I got this new listing I mentioned Thursday, and I've been doing a bunch of stuff around it. So I've just figured I'd share a little bit of what's happening there. Maybe some of it will be useful for you guys, and then talk a little bit more about that microsite, some of what the findings there. So first off, we're looking on the screen here at our Facebook ads account, and I ran an ad for this listing on Saturday or Sunday. It might have been Sunday, and you can see here it's kind of nuts, and it might be small on your screen, but we are at $1.21 per lead, and it is 51 leads. And for my money, this is probably the most efficient way to get a name, email, phone into your KV Core database, and that is running Facebook lead ads for your listings. Now, as everybody knows, we do have Property Boost as an option, but I can't say that Property Boost will get you $1.21 leads. So if you just want the ability to go and click an easy button, you can go into Marketplace and you can run a listing, and you don't have to do any of the technical gobbledygook that you see me doing on these sessions, right? And that's part of the reason I get such low cost per lead is because I get a little creative and I try a bunch of different things and discover stuff. But if you don't have time for all that, you can still get a very affordable name, email, cell number that will give you an ROI over time by just doing a Property Boost for every listing. So I want to start there. I want to show you guys the ad. So we'll do that now. My computer's struggling a little today, so I'm going to stop my video and block. So if I look here at the ad, one of the things I did that would be a little bit different from what a typical Property Boost ad is that I made a custom video in Screencast-O-Matic. So, and there's nothing fancy about this video. Right, here it is, right here. What I did was I took, and it might be making you guys tripping you out a little bit, but I took the picture scroll off of my KV Core site, and I used Screencast-O-Matic, and I just did it at regular speed, and then I spun up the whole scroll. And for whatever reason, this seems to be getting a lot of engagement. Now, it could just be the picture of the property. We had it painted, you know, it's got the nice blue door. You know, it just might look cute. It might be the location, whatever it is. But we're getting really affordable cost per lead on this. And I just want to share with you guys this technique where you take up the pictures and you speed them up. Now, the way that I did this, let's see if I get lucky. Is it on this machine? I've been using two computers. Yeah, it is. So the way I did this was I took the video at regular speed. And then I'm just going to get to the edit screen here to show you. So I scrolled through on KV Core, and then I just used the speed option. So I went to tools here, I did speed, and then speed up, and I dragged it for the whole thing. So you can do this with any video editor, I'm sure, but I'm just a fan of Screencast-O-Matic. I talk about it a lot. I feel like a lot of it's just easier to do here. And then at the end, I just put a little bit of a block. So it could be the creative here, and I'm going to guess it might be that's generating some of this really good result. And I don't expect to get dollar leads every time, but 50 people with name, email, cell in my market into the database. I have to sit and wonder why couldn't you take any listing that your office gets, especially if you're a team leader or you're the admin, and just do this for every listing and have that be your main strategy for getting leads into your database. I mean, Zillow and Realtor.com, Zillow alone could be $100 just to get somebody's contact info. You know, we're doing it for $1 here. I am not calling all these leads, don't have any time. They are going, I think, into the office, and I think with the ISA, the in-house person who does that is probably calling them on some level. But yeah, I even made a mistake. Look, I have the email field first, and then last name, first name, phone number. I'm just noticing that now, but I will tell you, I will not mess with this because it's working. I'm not going to go in and change that. So again, these leads come in, they're zapped in. I had to build a custom zap to do it. There's a little extra work, but just a really nice result there. The other thing that I'm working on with respect to this listing is I just went through and took a custom video. And I really like doing these videos. I've done them over the years, probably since about 2008, 2009, where I just walk through and it's intentionally shaky and I just talk about it. It's just like as if you're showing the property to somebody. So the next thing I'm going to do, and I'll probably show you tomorrow, is I'm going to take this video, I'm going to get it on YouTube, and I mentioned in the video that that they can use the text codes, right? So I'm going to use KV Core text codes to get people to text in to get the price and more details about the property. So one of the things here with the Facebook ad and with the YouTube video is that you kind of hide some of the info so that people need to interact in order to get the information. And one of the most powerful things in marketing, of course, is curiosity. So I'm going to hold this till tomorrow, but just sharing with you guys, just food for thought. Definitely, if you're not taking walkthrough tours of your listings, it's really worth doing. And even in my video, I just talk about how, hey, I'm sorry about the shakiness. It's just a really quick walkthrough to give them an idea. And it also saves your sellers a lot of time, of course. You know, some people will disqualify the listing by being able to see the video. Maybe they won't request a showing because it's something you say or they see in the video. And I think that's valuable. I think that's worth doing. So that's that. Just sharing a little bit of what I'm up to here, just some listing promotion stuff. I haven't gotten around to the other thing I'm going to do with this. I'm going to run a YouTube ad directly in stream. So tomorrow I can show you some of that. I would show you it now, but I don't have the video edited and ready to upload to YouTube yet. So we'll probably talk about that tomorrow. Switching gears a little bit, and then we'll get to some Q&A. I posted in Facebook about the campaign we did Thursday. And what we did Thursday, and like whenever something works really well, I have it off for some reason. But what we did Thursday, I did our niche condo site test right here. And this was the ad we did where it ran traffic to our Google site. And I was very surprised to learn that the cost per lead on this came in. So niche condo site test, this guy right here. Kick it back on. The cost per lead on this, we spent $46.75. There's an issue, we didn't get 80 leads. There's something wrong with conversion tracking, but I manually counted the leads in KV Core, and we got 6 leads, and it was $7.90 a lead. But what was interesting about that, and this is following up on the niche site we built a few weeks ago, was that the traffic isn't being sent directly to a landing page. You know, usually when you're talking about paid traffic, you want to take somebody directly to the destination. Instead, we're taking them here. So we're taking them, I believe, to this page. And it's got the little search widget embedded from KV Core, and it's just got links to different condos. And for whatever reason, people landing on this page are clicking my squeeze links, and then they're coming into KV Core as leads via the registration modal at KV Core. And I can tell because you can see some of them have different hashtags, and these are the hashtags that I put on the squeeze links on that website. So you can see condos under 250, condo open houses, right? So they're getting tagged with those, and they're clicking the niche site. I also have Google site set as the source, so that's how I know these are the leads. So the big takeaway here is, wow, $7.90 a lead, that's actually cheaper than our direct Google campaigns. But more importantly, what this is signaling to me is that if this site starts getting organic traffic, free traffic, it starts to rank in the search engines, the way that I have this site laid out will actually convert. And that's really valuable. It's so valuable that I might even consider making my homepage be this actual browse condo link that I'm driving the traffic to. I might switch things up so this is the homepage. So I'm sharing this with you guys, you know, because it's interesting, but if you are building these niche sites, and I know a few of you are, just keep in mind this whole thing where you put a list of squeeze links seems to work if you drive direct Google traffic, especially at this condo offer. So none of you guys are commenting. Let me know what you think so far. I've been talking nonstop. So Patricia, this is not my KV Core site. This is a site I built on Google Sites. We did a couple of webinars about it over the past few weeks. I've been touching on this and talking about it. So I built this site so that it would rank organically for search terms around St. Pete, Florida condos, knowing it's going to take 3, 6, 12 months. But knowing that once I own this site and it's generating free traffic, hey, it's an asset for my business. I could even lease it out or sell it if I ever leave the business or whatever. But this paid traffic test that we did last week was kind of a way to say, one, will it just generate leads if traffic lands there? It turns out it does. It's kind of cool. And then when I start getting free traffic, it should convert just as well. Thanks, Sheila. Yeah, were you on when I did the build out? So yeah, we always want to, and I know it's kind of tough, the situation I'm in. I do come up with these examples, and I want to make sure I don't do things that are going to waste your guys' time and that will work on some level. But I never know. Some things do fail. And in this case, it just got a little bit, fortunately, this worked. So I'm going to keep talking about it because it did work. I'm probably going to build more of these niche sites. I don't see why I wouldn't. It took me an hour to build the first one. Might build a portfolio of them. I may need to get into building some backlinks. One of the things I definitely will do is start to put videos on a YouTube channel. We'll be talking about that link back to this site. So if I'm on YouTube and I search St. Pete, Florida condos, right? St. Pete, Florida even, I'm going to want my channel to come up. You can see here are my competitors. And then I want to drive the traffic over to that URL from my videos. But the other benefit of doing videos about it is it will give me backlinks and SEO juice, so to speak, so that the site starts to rank. So there's a lot to do here. So Anise is asking, when was that? Sure, guys, let me show you. So it's insiderealestate.com/webinars is where we kind of pop these replays, or when we stream them, they land there. And then it would have only been 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's real estate niche site. Part 1, this is when I built out the site. And then in part 2, I just showed some of the modifications that were made. So it was only trying to get the date here for you. My computer's slowing down. It is, yeah, there you go. I'll put the date on there. But that flow is interesting. Yeah, I think there's a lot to that. There's a lot more work to be done. My goodness. Sorry, I'm overloading my machine here, my computer, and it's lagging a little bit. May 31st. Thank you, Sheila. So that's what I had to share. The only other thing I'll mention, and we're probably gonna do a full session on this, and I'm gonna do a handful of sessions on direct mail. API Nation, guys, now has a sync for thanks.io. So this is awesome. So you can now automatically send your KV Core people into thanks.io, and you can actually send all your people with an address. You can do a one-time push, and they offer a 30-day trial of the sync. They are, API Nation's in the business, so they do charge $10 a month for this sync, but you can get it for 30 days and sync all your people over. So that was kind of the last thing I had on my list of goings on. If you're an API Nation user or a Thanks user, you might find that useful. But I'm going to do a whole session or a video in the Facebook group that just explains that, why this is cool. Long and short of it is, I was able to quickly sync up to a mailing list, contacts who were in a certain hashtag or a source, and just have them all push right in KV Core. And now automatically, anytime I get a home value request, it's just going to come in here, and I can automatically trigger a follow-up postcard in the mail without having to build any apps or anything. So that's what I got. All right. So a lot of hodgepodge today, I realize. Does anybody have anything you'd like to see or talk about related to KV Core right now? Yep, Jeff, perfect time to ask an unrelated question. So Jeff's got a 90-day touchpoint campaign, and you want it to happen a recurring event every 90 days instead of individual entries. You want it to send to all your sphere every 90 days? I don't think there's a way to do that, but the way I would hack that up, say you want to send the same thing, I think you can mass select everybody. I don't know if this is going to help, but you can run a filter for all your past clients, right? So I can do closed here, client, whatever, and I can get everybody loaded up. And then And then I can mass assign. So I go to more actions here, and then add campaign. So you'd have to select them all. I didn't have them selected. And you mass assign, add campaign. And then you would choose your sphere campaign. So that's a little bit of a manual process, but you can see it takes about 10 seconds. And from there, you would I would schedule in Google or Outlook a recurring appointment that happens every quarter to just do that. But I don't think there's not a native recurring functionality that would do that. Jeff, you have to add individual dates. Oh, based on when they moved in, yeah, to the contact record. I would just try to hit everybody once a quarter, or apply them to the drip campaign in staggered sets. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 91, 80, 270. Okay. Rose is asking how to run ads for IDX feeds for listings. Rose, just detail. You're trying to get listings, or you're trying to run an ad to a set list of listings like new construction or condos or something like that? So we've done a lot of that. I kind of need a whole session on that. But in the next level members area, I have a bunch of tutorials about that in the growth system. For an IDX feed listing. What's the ad you're trying to make, Rose? Specifically, like what's the offer in your ad? I can probably show you. And what channel are you trying to run the ad on? Facebook, Google? So as far as Facebook's concerned, you can see what I'm doing here locally. It's not a lot. We've got 2 niche campaigns, and I have an ad running for a listing. I recommend running on Facebook and Google niche focused property searches. So, but you need to not just have it be search for properties. It needs to be a very niche down list of properties. So you can see here, new construction, open houses, fixer uppers, starter homes, homes with 1 floor if you're downsizing, things like that. So in the growth system section of the next level members area, we have step-by-step walkthroughs where I show how to do this both on Facebook and Google. I'm sure I have some of those publicly available on YouTube as well. It's just going to be a little tough. Let me find you a video very quickly, and then I'll get to some other questions, because these are multi-step processes, but I do believe that running IDX list searches, I call them niche squeeze links, that skill is absolutely extremely valuable to learn, even if it requires a little bit of watching my videos 20 times and slowing me down and rewatching. So there's one on how to run the new construction. And then this one about those might help. And a real estate deals funnel. I'm spamming you guys in Zoom, sorry, but they're all in here. So the goods on that, but this is, if you go into the next level members area and you go to growth systems, this is the main thing I focus on in that. And the reason is it's just very efficient. I mean, you can see $3 and $5 leads off of the niche lists and $1 leads on specific properties. And I do both Google and Facebook. You get a nice mix of people with high intent who might want to move now and people who are longer term, cheaper leads. All right, scrolling back up here to some other questions. Oh boy, here's a tree service right out the door, sorry. How do you send a blast text message to your sphere of influence? All right. So when we do that, is we come into KV Core and we first have to filter for our sphere of influence. All right, so we're gonna go to Smart CRM. One second, guys, I might have to move locations here. Sorry. Sorry, guys. I had to think on my toes there. There's a guy with a leaf blower tree service outside the office door. Sorry about that. So I only have one monitor now. Bear with me. So the question was, how do we send a blast text message to a sphere of influence? So we're going to come into our filters here in the Smart CRM, and we're going to filter for everybody in our sphere, or it could be whatever list you're searching for. Okay. So I apply filters. I might not have a lot in this particular account, my demo account here, but you can see you bring it up on the right side. You can see all my lists, and then I click and I select them all. Okay, watch out, make sure that you see how it says 50 rows up top? You want to make sure that you get everybody. So I might want to filter by 250 at a time and make sure that I check everybody off. And then once I have everybody checked off, I'm going to click mass texts right here. Part of the reason I'm at the office is because my kid was playing video games and the dog's barking. There's a guy with a leaf blower. And then what you can do is you just type your message. Hi, just checking in. Need anything? Anything real estate related? That might be a text you send, right? I'm summarizing what you might send, and then you can push send. So the quick answer is you check everybody off and you just click mass text. Now, if you wanted to send a series of texts, you could build a campaign and mass assign everybody to a campaign. So I hope that answers your question. And sorry for the mess up there with the leaf blowing guy. I'm probably more frazzled than you guys are. All right. Just looking for the next question here. Okay, Rose is asking, should I use a VPN to run ads from the Philippines for ads for Google and Facebook? That's an interesting question. Be careful for sure, because you know that Google and Facebook, they freak out. Their bots freak out. It's not even people. It's just random things. So they might see an IP coming from Philippines logging into your account and not like that. So yeah, I'd advise the VPN. You could lose your account. But the safest way would probably be to make that virtual assistant an admin in your business account, right? Like literally make them an authorized user. Don't have them log into your ad account from overseas. Using your credentials, that'll definitely throw up some red flags. I would just invite them, following the process. So that would be my advice there. Looking down through the questions. So D saying she hears Google is getting better ROI than Facebook ads. Well, ROI, there was a good question. I get the question all the time in the group about my niche condo site with those ads. What is the ROI? What percentage close? Guys, this is all going to depend on us. Our varying degree of skill, our varying degrees of skill as salespeople and as marketers. I would argue that Facebook ads get much better ROI than Google because it's a cheaper cost per lead and I get a real cell number. So for me to get into a conversation with somebody from a Facebook ad is much more affordable than it is for a Google ad, because it's hard for me to get a cell number off of a Google ad. So if I'm paying $3 or $5 a lead, even $1 a lead, for a single listing, and I'm auto texting using KV Core Smart Campaigns, and I get 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 people to reply to my auto text, I am in conversation for $5. Now, the intent of the Facebook person is lower for sure, but at $5 a conversation, even $10 or $20 a conversation, if I can turn 1 in 10 of those conversations into some kind of business, whether directly with that person or a referral over the next few years because I've started a relationship, right? I put it in my database. That ROI, so it might cost me $200, $300 to do a deal. On Google, I'm going to pay $10 a lead, and I'm only going to get a cell number a certain percentage of the time. So I'm going to rely on email marketing, retargeting, and everything else. I think what you might be trying to say is Google may give you a faster, immediate ROI. So if we're talking about, if I spend $1,000 on Google and I spend $1,000 on Facebook running real estate ads, what's probably going to give me the quickest customer, like cash in my, commission checks, direct deposited into my bank account? The answer is Zillow. I'm just kidding, guys. but the reason I joked about Zillow is the Google ad has higher level of intent. The person typing into Google has higher level of intent around searching for real estate than the person on Facebook who's being interrupted. And I joke about Zillow because why people still pay for Zillow is a lot of times that's a more higher intent person who's actually on Zillow at the time searching specifically for real estate. So D, I'm not picking up, I'm just saying the ROI is, it really depends on what you're doing to follow up. But I like Facebook better. But Google's and Facebook's better because if you're building a business for the next 5-10 years, it's going to blow Google away, would be my argument, because you can get those conversations going and it gives you more opportunity to interact with more people. But if you just need a deal in the next 3 months, maybe it's Google. I don't know. Patricia's asking, just switching fields there, how concerned do we need to be that the images we upload will slow down the website? Not super concerned, but yeah, I wouldn't upload stuff that's over, like, I don't even know. I don't want to give a number, but like over 2 megabytes or over 5. I'm not even sure. It's possible KV Core smushes those down. I know we use a CDN, a content delivery network. We use Cloudflare on all KV Core sites. So I think that Cloudflare will kind of cache those images up and make sure they don't slow down the site too much. So I would say don't be super concerned, but don't upload really big stuff a lot. Oh, you're the admin, Rose. Okay. Yeah, you should be all right. As long as it's like your account, but don't get mad at me if something happens. So how much would I recommend for the ad spend on Google and Facebook niche focus ads? It depends on how many leads you want, but I would definitely start with at least $10 a day, just so you can get 2 or 3 leads. And you have to with Facebook, you have to give it like 2 or 3 days to heat up. With Google, $10 a day, probably because you just want to at least get 1 lead a day, but I would probably go for $20 a day on Google. So just show you guys because I have it open. I know I show this a lot, but there's gold in just doing exactly what I have here. Our St. Pete new construction ad has been set at $20 a day for over a year. And we get $8.41 leads, conversion rate of 13%. So that gives us probably a lead or 2 a day. Well, it gives us 2.5 leads a day on average over time. Okay. Yeah, the intent on Google is higher. Okay, getting to the bottom. All right, so Anissa wants a complete walkthrough of a full campaign you might build for buyers. What time is it? 2:29. I guess I can do one. You guys want to do a niche focused ad? I guess I can do one on Facebook. It's safe to come back to my office. I'm going back to the other room, so I have 2 monitors, and I can try to build one if I don't see a lot of other questions. What niche would you guys like to see? Let's pick something we haven't done in a while. Give me an example niche. So by niche, I mean like an example. As my brother, hopefully we're not saying anything crazy on Slack. You guys can all see that. My computer's freezing. There we go. Okay. 55 plus communities, first time buyer. Okay. Just bear with me, guys. Downsizer. Okay, we got 2 downsizers and they were first. So let's do a downsizing campaign. Okay. So we're going to head on over to Facebook. All right. Try to make this zoom out, kind of get my workspace set. So that's the first thing you want to do, get your workspace set. All right. And now I'm going to click to create an ad. And I'm going to choose the leads option right here. So we love the lead generation objective, name, email, cell phone. It's my favorite option in Facebook. We'll name our campaign, downsizing. And in our category, it is very important, we need to pick housing. So we're going to choose housing. We'll scroll down, we'll set a daily budget. I'll go for 20 bucks. And we'll click next. Now our ad set name, I'm just going to choose Pinellas County. I'm going to run it in the whole county because we have to. Facebook doesn't let us get very targeted there, so it's okay. The algorithm seems to find the right people, but we don't have any real targeting settings other than the location. Now Facebook, as always, is always moving things around, but I'm looking for where I can choose the location. It's down here. So I'll click in there and I'll choose Pinellas County. And I'm just scrolling up, make sure that everything is set well. Yep, set fine. And then I can do automatic placements. Sometimes I will go to manual placements and I'll only show on Facebook and Instagram. And I'll remove everything that's not this top section for feeds. Sometimes Facebook tries to sneak your ads in weird places. So if you want to kind of get the, I don't know, a lot of people think it's the better quality and it's not the shrapnel, the weird traffic sources. Like the audience network is Facebook working with kind of third parties and showing their ads there. So I've set my targeting, but you're probably fine. That said, you're probably fine just leaving it as automatic placements. It's not going to kill you. You're probably not going to notice much of a difference. Now I'm going to click next. It's going to ask you to connect to a Facebook page. So you need your business page set up. It's selected ours by default. And then if you have your Instagram account set up and connected to Facebook, you can select that as well. Okay. Now, for the single image or video, we're gonna have to choose some creative. Now, you can use the create video option here. So why don't I try that? And you can make a nice little video inside of Facebook. I've had troubles with this on some of these sessions. And it looks like at some point in the past, I've done a downsizer example. You can see this image I have here of an older couple. Yeah, it looks, guys, like the video. I've had a lot of trouble since they made their last update on these videos. It just is very slow and glitchy. But I really like Facebook's built-in video builder. So if you want to play with that, go ahead. But in the interest of not struggling with the tech and getting this demo done, I'm just going to make a static image ad. Okay. So it's because that took way too long to load. So I'm going to hit cancel. And I'm just going to do a regular image. And now I can just choose a picture. I'm not sure. Do I want the couple? You know, you really need to think about the image. It's really going to affect things. So if you can pick an image of like a 55 plus or something relevant, do that. I'm just going to use this couple now. And you can do multiple versions of your ad with different images. But I'm going to just choose the couple as a static image. And I probably want an actual piece of real estate, but for the demo, I'm going to keep going. And then I'm going to say something like, and it's very simple. I'm going to say a Pinellas County homes and condos for downsizers. All right. And then I'll do something like first floor living, 55 plus, etc. Right? C, priced from, and then I like to put a price range. This is the way I go about it. So let's hop on in to KV Core and build out our link to these properties. So lead engine, build squeeze page, pick my county. And then listing type, I'll do single family and I'll do condos. And then for options, I can pick adult 55 plus there. So I'm going to stick with the 155 plus kind of example, but you could build a link to multiple types of properties. Or you could have a page with links to different types of properties, as you've seen me do with my investment deals links or the ones that you saw on the condo page earlier in this webinar. But for now, let's just keep it simple. When you're building a Facebook lead ad, you don't want to make people register again. So I set my property views to never. Because after they opt in for the lead form on Facebook, we don't want to make them register again. And then I'm going to grab my link. And I like to grab the price range off of the created link. So I can sort price low to high. So 85,000. And I'm going to get lots of comments on this ad like, there's nothing available for 85,000. Well, look, there is. There's some condos in town here that are still in that situation. And then up to $1 million plus. So I'm going to sort. And I really believe putting the number, the price range in the ad is important. People seem to really key in on that. And I think that's part of the reason these ads work well. So I'm just going to say from the low 100s to 2 million plus. And I'm going to do Pinellas County homes and condos for downsizers in 55 plus communities. Okay, I think we did a full webinar on this, now that I think about it, not too long ago, but here we go. And then I'll usually put this in brackets. And I'll do Pinellas 55 plus / downsizer. Homes and condos. So the headline part is the part that goes under the image. And then it says sign up. I don't like sign up. You want to do learn more. See down there. So there's our ad creative. And that was the easy part. The next part is we need to make a lead form. This is the complicated part, but this is a skill worth learning, in my opinion. And it's a little tricky, but we're going to do it. We're going to go 55 plus Pinellas. And this is exactly what I do every time. I click on the intro and I get rid of it. I scroll down, I get rid of the greeting. Then I go to questions. I'm sorry, I don't go to questions. I skip the questions. No, excuse me, sorry. Click the questions and then you go down. You don't add a question, you go to description right here. And then I just like to repeat downsizer / 55 plus Pinellas homes list and condos list. So you can see it kind of showing up at the top left right here. Just there you go. It kind of just says what it is. I delete the full name here and I separate out the first and the last. So where it says add category, I do user information first name, user information last name. I like to put first name, last name, email. You saw earlier I kind of messed that up. I didn't reorder it, but it's working okay with my the one that's getting $1 something a lead. So it's probably not a big deal, whatever order you put it in. And then I scroll down to privacy. And your privacy link is always your website. /privacy.php. And you can get your privacy link at the bottom of your KV Core site if you need that. But you need to put a privacy link in. And then for completion, you just say, great, click below to see the list. Now, a lot of times for the description, I'll just put a couple of dashes and not worry about it. I put my LinkedIn down at the bottom, my squeeze link that I built. And then see the downsizer. You just say see the list now. So I've got my ad, I've got my form ready, and I hit publish. But we're not done. So this is the actual ad, and it'll get people filling out the ad on Facebook. And most cases, you know, we can be between $2 and $5, maybe it'll inch up to $6 or $7 a week, usually. And the beauty of it, as you saw, we're getting a cell number every time. Now, I do need to take an extra step, and I need to tie this ad to KV Core. So I need to kind of bridge the gap. I need to wire things up. So anytime something's submitted in this form, it goes into KV Core. And there's two options for that. One is Zapier.com. The other one is API Nation. And API Nation actually does give you a free bridge. So I would probably recommend trying out the API Nation, unless you already have a Zapier account. So if I go into Marketplace and I search for API in the Marketplace, we can see the API Nation integrations. And then I need to click Add to KV Core. It's a couple extra steps. Honestly, I've been just logging into my API Nation account and just doing it outside of KV Core. You can do it that way too. But this just kind of gives you a floating modal. And then you pick the apps you want to connect. So I'm going to connect Facebook lead ads. And I'm going to walk through the wizard. Step 1, connect KV Core. I'll hit to authorize. And then it'll have you connect your Facebook account up. Hopefully this works. I have a lot of Facebook pages attached. Yeah, I'm in a unique situation, guys, actually, with API Nation. It does glitch out for me because I have so many pages that I've managed over the years. I've run into this. But we did a full webinar. If you look in the recordings here, I'll just find it for you. Just search for API. API Nation, but it's just a wizard, and you can map the data over from your lead form into KV Core. And at the Zapier side, I'm not going to go too deep on that because we don't have a lot of time left. But at Zapier, we have lots of docs about this in the in past sessions, and we have a whole section inside of the next level members area that shows exactly how to do Zapier ads. But I'm just going to show you one that I've set up for my listing there, the one that was getting the dollar lead. So let me just get that here. So you want to set up a Zap that takes the information from the Facebook lead form and pushes it into KV Core. So that's the whole process. And then on the other side, inside KV Core, I believe it's very important to have a quick campaign set up that does follow up, at least sends an auto text. So let's add a campaign. The one detail you did not see was when you set up the bridge, you'd need to make sure you set a hashtag. Okay. And you put that tag down. In Zapier, it's here. In API Nation, there's a section, but you see anytime 2926 is lead comes in for this property, it adds that hashtag. And then Dee's saying, you wish there was a downsizer campaign. You had to clone and make one specific. Yeah, I would never trust a pre-canned campaign ever. I would never want to use one. Just everybody always asks for that. Make your own. It's better because it's going to sound like you, and it's just going to work better. So let's just add the hashtag downsizing. But all you need to do to make the campaign, downsizing demo. Yeah, well, fortunately, the campaigns are easier to work with now. So it's not as much of a struggle as it used to be. So if I come to my downsizing campaign, I can just click add text and call this downsizing initial text from agent to contact, run immediately. Hi, thanks for checking out. Thanks for looking at downsize the 55 plus homes on our website. Did you end up seeing anything you liked? And something like that. Remember, I used the word end or stop in the message, and it kills that auto unsubscribe message. Didn't see anything you liked, or you can do you currently live in Pinellas County, or are you thinking about a move here? Something like that. Call it downsizing. Initial. Save. So to me, this is really all you need. I usually add an email and then email them the link to the list, just in case they didn't see it right away. So downsizing list email, Pinellas downsizing /55 list. And I would just send a quick email. Hi, here's the link to the 55 plus properties. Let me know if any questions. Thanks. I would usually get a little more, add a little more there, but you just grab your link like this and then use the chain and link it. Save changes. So, oops, downsizing. You got to do these settings on the right side. Only takes a second. So that'll go out like 2 minutes later. And then the last thing I would do, so those two go out right away. And then my longer term drip for this niche is just to set up automated alerts. So I'll go to all marketing and I'll go to search alerts here. And at any time downsizing comes over, create an alert. And then downsizing. And I'm just choosing those same options, adult 55 plus, and that should be good, and it'll go out frequently. So I just threw you off there, huh, Dee? So Dee's asking, what is the alert for? So beyond the initial auto text and the auto email, I am of the opinion that setting people up so they automatically get the property list that they opted in for from the ad is the most relevant, effective drip campaign that you can do. So all I'm doing is I'm telling KV Core, anytime they see this hashtag for that kind of lead come over, just start sending them those kinds of properties. And then if I really want to convert these people into conversations and closings, it's on me to once a week, maybe once, twice, 3 times a week, send some content related to downsizing. It could be a featured listing. It could be a webinar I do. It could be a blog post I do about, 55 plus homes with the lowest association fees, things like that. So, but I don't think you need big, long, smart campaigns. I think you just need initial conversation starters, the email and the text, and then a long-term drip, and then to do your own stuff once a week. So, yeah, and these things, and think about it, everybody stresses out about these long-term campaigns. Yeah, make a really good first auto text. You can play with the auto text because you know that 20 or 30% of people are going to reply to that. Let the alerts go out so your name is staying in front of people, but put the effort, not in the smart campaigns, but in creating something related to your niche once a week. It could be anything, Again, a property tour works, a featured 55 plus condo, complex, an interview with somebody who you've worked with, just anything just to stay in front of them. And you've got a nice little funnel there. So this is asking, do you currently have a blog page on your site? Most of what you're going to see on my site is demos, but yeah, if you go to your agent and then blog, you'll see latest blog posts. I've actually got to clean this up. More and more in all my ventures, not just real estate, I treat YouTube like a blog. The video, I usually put videos on YouTube, I email them out, and then if I'm doing any blog posts themselves, I'll just embed a YouTube video in there. So yeah, D, that's just a really powerful KV Core feature that's probably underutilized. So any traffic source that you have, Realtor.com, Zillow, anybody you're buying leads from, any of your own ads, every source should have their own search alert automated. Yeah. Oh, you were having your VA do it. Yeah. Yeah, just set them up for every hashtag source that you have. And if you don't know, and you can make it super broad, and just do every house in the county. It's interesting. People will just reply back and say, hey, I don't like, why are you sending me 3 bedrooms? I only need a 2-bedroom. And then when they do that, you just adjust their alert manually. So cool. So yeah, that was a full demo of a Facebook ad. It wouldn't look much different on Google. You wouldn't need to do a lead form and stuff, and you don't need to do that bridging. It's actually a bit quicker, but my template for Google Ads looks like this. It's similar. Let's see if I can make this bigger, but this is, you can see, St. Pete, Florida, new construction, hundreds of homes and condos priced from the low 200s. That's pretty much it. That's a similar template to what was in Facebook. And then in our case here, we take them to a KV Core landing page. And that works pretty well. And then you can see the landing page almost says exactly what the ad says. So cool. Yeah, 53 minutes in. I think we're getting to the top of the hour. Lots of stuff covered today. Thanks for all the questions, guys. And I'm glad we had time there, despite the tree guy with the leaf blower outside my door. We were able to get a full downsizing campaign launched. I need to go and make sure I build that bridge properly because I ran into the API Nation bug. But you can see in half hour, an hour, once you get good at this flow, you can have lots of different funnels driving leads into your business. But the most important part is that automatic follow-up stuff. I promise. If you can get the right auto text going out to these Facebook leads, it's really cool. You're just an automated conversation with people. Lots of, hey, leave me alone, no, not interested. But also a fair amount of people just telling you their life story and what they want to buy or sell, what they're trying to do with their lives. So cool. All right, so we'll call it a day. This replay is available on the YouTube channel, and we'll be back tomorrow. You're welcome, Rose. I'm hoping tomorrow we are going to probably dig in a little bit on some direct mail integration stuff, like how to trigger. Now this API Nation is available for Thanks.io. I think I'm going to show how to set up a seller thank you postcard maybe, and how to use API Nation to just automatically send your seller leads from KV Core over to Thanks and have an automated follow-up postcard go out. That'll be what we do tomorrow. Okay, thanks guys. Have a good one. And